Alright, hello, and good evening, everyone. I'm back. I took a week's hiatus, but I'm back for some more Heroes Lounge casts here. We're starting off this weekend of quarantine with best of 3 here in Division 3 between two pretty evenly matched teams. We've got on the left side Randy Newman, which you'll see they've got some pretty great dedication to their namesake there. As we get in game, you'll see a little bit of fun there. And their opponents are Team Rainbow Strike Go, both teams veterans of NGS and Heroes Lounge. Or I think it might be the first time for Randy Newman in Heroes Lounge, but both teams have been playing in competitive and have been doing very well recently. So this should be a really great one. I'm really excited to get into it. As we have... Oh, I missed a ban, that is why. We should hopefully be getting into our first lobby here pretty soon, and I can already tell we're getting some nice spice. But let's talk about the teams here real quick. So to start off with, we've got number 5 seed, Randy Newman, or currently positioned as the number 5 in Division 3. They're sitting at 3-1. Your only loss was 2-0 against a team, Raid Gas, which has since dropped out. So if you count it that way, they're kind of undefeated, but they have 2-0'd the rest of their opponents, so they're sitting at 6-2 in the map score, looking really good. Their opponents, Team Rainbow Strike Go, are just behind them at the number 7. They're also 3-1 overall. As I get invited to the lobby, perfect. So, but they've got a 6-3 map score currently, so they're a little bit shakier. Also, one of their wins was a forfeit against Raid Gas since they did leave. But both of these teams I know to be very strong teams and to play quite well. So I would expect to see them do well, and hopefully maybe we'll get multiple, more than 2 maps here. We'll get all 3 maybe. To start off here, let's go ahead and update this and jump on over into our maps. So to start off with, we had Randy Newman going ahead and banning out Dragonshire and Battlefield of Eternity, while Team Rainbow Strike Go chose to ban out Infernal Shrines and Volskaya Foundry, so some more commonly picked maps getting banned out there by them. Team Rainbow Strike Go was given the map pick, and they elected to go ahead and pick Garden of Terror, so we're going to be starting it off there. Definitely a fun map to start the series off with. Just had to let the teams know that currently they're on the wrong sides, at least according to the website. It makes it a lot easier for me as well as for the people running the website if they are just sitting on the right side to start off with. But I'll go ahead and bring it back to me for the moment, as I'm going to be typing in some names here. I got to make sure I get these right the first time, otherwise this could prove quite difficult. As we currently have all but 1 player inside of the lobby. But yeah, so starting off on Garden of Terror, that is a map that you do not see picked a lot. It's kind of one of the more off-meta, I guess you could say, maps, as it is really big. There's a ton of camps and just such a heavy emphasis on macro. So you'll be looking for picks like Greymane, potentially a Vala, maybe. You've got to get those assassins and even other roles. You see stuff like Rhaegar and Sonya very often, because all of those heroes are just so good at taking camps quickly and efficiently. And that is something which is essential on this map, as each side has about 3 camps, 2 siege giant camps, and 1 bruiser or knight camp. And those come up very frequently. You gotta try and rotate those out in between the objectives, which also come up very quickly. And once you get 3 of those, similar to Cursed Hollow, you go ahead and get the Garden Terror wave, which is probably one of the most powerful objectives in the game. I mean, alrighty, sweet. Looks like we do have our teams in. Let me go ahead and tell them that I am ready. So this map was selected by the team of Team Rainbow Strike Go, so it is going to be first pick for Randy Newman. So we'll have to see what gets prioritized. I imagine we likely see Zool banned out, as he is able to give a lot of that macro pressure that I was mentioning, and because since his rework he has been dominant in the Nexus in all game modes, whether it be competitive, custom games, Storm League, quick match, whatever. Zool is rocking the leaderboards, and rightfully so, as his rework gave him a lot of power. So hopefully we should be ready to get into this any moment now. We've got one of the teams ready, and we will be starting indeed very soon, hopefully. Of course, there's a little bit of delay between when you have the team actually hit ready versus when the game goes ahead and starts. But here we are, Garden of Terror, a map you do not see a lot. Thank you, Majesty007 in the chat. Says, let's go Rainbow Newman. So maybe Rudin not got a bias for any particular team there. Always nice to see some viewers just coming out to see both teams play. I know I definitely wouldn't have a bias as far as which team I would hope to win, but I think if there were to be a favorite, I would have to say Randy Newman. They seem to be playing very clean this season. They're going to start off with a Malthael ban. That makes sense. That is a target ban, I believe, against Kingleberry from the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. A very, very strong Malthael player. And we're going to see Maiev banned out on the other side. Likely another more targeted ban. So my question here is, are we going to see the Zool ban from either of these teams? And another question, I know that there is a strong Samuro player on the side of Randy Newman. Are we going to see that banned out potentially, or is that going to make its way through? As Samuro is one of the most oppressive heroes in the game when played well, especially on maps like Garden, where he can get away with a lot of macro pressure. Randy Newman's going to go ahead and ban out Deathwing, and we're going to see ETC as the final ban. So Zool making it through. Is he going to get picked up here in the first pick slot by Randy Newman, or are they going to be a little bit intimidated maybe by seeing that being let through? So it looks like I'm dropping a few frames. Sorry about that. Hopefully my internet will sort itself pretty soon here, but it does occasionally have some struggles. So well, we're gonna see the Greymane first pick here for Rhonda Newman. Solid hero, like I said, very highly prioritized on this map due to the fact that Greymane can just destroy, tear apart those camps and get the siege pressure really going, which is something that you definitely need to be able to do on this map. So on the other side, we're going to go ahead and see a little bit of a different approach. We're going to see Johanna and Falstad, so looking for macro pressure more and being able to clear out the waves and rotate efficiently, as Johanna and Falstad, with the wave clear that Johanna gives and the global from Falstad, obviously are able to give that kind of pressure there. And Falstad with the bribe can also help out a lot in getting those camps out quickly a bit later in the game. So a nice opening for both teams. Still no touching onto Zool, which is quite interesting for me. We're going to see Randy Newman himself picking up the Mal'Ganis here, feeling confident that he isn't going to get stopped by something like an ETC, as the Johanna has already been picked up, as well as Rhaegar, which again, a hero I mentioned is very powerful on this map thanks to his camp clear. Now we're into the next bans here for these teams. So we're going to go ahead and see Jaina banned out. Makes sense. That's a mage who can do camps very well, has a lot of wave clear, and could fit very easily into the draft of Randy Newman here. Now, are we going to see Randy Newman potentially taking away the Zool? I'm honestly surprised it made it this far into the draft. Seems like both teams may be playing a bit of a game of chicken, seeing which team will be willing to let it go the longest, or if the other team is going to pick it at all. But we're going to see the Lost Vikings banned out, so trying to avoid some potential cheese strats here. I don't know fully if there is a Vikings player here for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, but if there was, then that was a ban that definitely could help them out on the side of Randy Newman. Make sure that they just don't have to deal with that. And we're going to see Vala picked up, looking for the camp clear here, as well as Teamfight, and then Stukov, a solid sustained backliner who can put okay pressure onto camps, but can definitely help zoning in a lot of the choke points on this map, which are very big around the objectives. The last two picks here, and Zool still available with neither of these teams having picked their offlaner yet. Will it get picked up? That's the main question here. Looks like for Randy Newman, the answer is going to be no. They're actually going to go into a triple damage setup here. They've got Phoenix in for Wendy Wooman and Kael'thas in here for Nandy Ruman. Can't wait to list all of these off at once, but now we've got the last pick here in the off lane for the finish of this Garden of Terror draft. What will Team Rainbow Strike go pick here? They're going to go for Zeratul, so looking for a bit of an aggressive roaming kind of play for their solo laner, and as well as some late game team fight pressure. Both teams electing into pretty much a solo tank composition. So we'll have to see which one proves to be able to end these team fights faster, as I reckon we are going to see some very quick team fights here from both of these sides. Make sure no one switched, especially on the side of Randy Newman, as that would make my life a whole lot harder. Looks like they did not. Perfect. Okay, stream still seems to be having a few issues. Hopefully it will clear up. If it doesn't, I may restart stream after this first map here. Got some nice portrait synergy coming in for the side of Randy Newman, a bit less so on the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, as it seems they're a bit split on which portrait they wanted to go for here. But regardless, we're going to go ahead and jump into this first map. Let's start on over with the blue side, as we're going to have for Randy Newman on the left, starting off with Rhonda Newman on the Greymane, Nandy Ruman on the Kael'thas, Randy Newman on the Mal'Ganis, Randy Newman on the Rehgar, and Wendy Wooman on the Phoenix. Opposing them in the red is Team Rainbow Strike Go. We've got Kingleberry on the Falstad, Robert on, I gotta make sure I get these right, Robert on the Johanna, Silver on the Vala, Super Sticks on the Zeratul, and to finish it all out, we have Panda Supreme on the Stukov. Not exactly sure why we're seeing so much lag in game here. I did restart my computer just before this, so I was hoping to have no issues, as I normally don't have any. Hopefully it'll clear up. Again, if needs be, I will restart the stream after this first match. But let's look at talents. We do have Winged Guard picked up here for Mal'Ganis, as it was recently fixed. Otherwise, looking at talents, nothing too crazy. We do see perfect aim for the Gilnean Cocktail there on Greymane, so looking to get some big splash poke, as well as Lightning Shield build starting out for Rehgar. And then we've got Cleave build starting out for the Zeratul, and the Q build here for the Arrow build here for Vala. So looking to get some macro pressure in from those sides, as we already have two camps started here for the side of Randy Newman. Rhonda Newman on this siege camp, while we see Nandy Ruman and Randy Newman on the other siege. So already starting it off quick. Looks like the siege camp is grabbed here for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, and they're moving on to the Bruisers, but a little bit slower here, as their macro pressure and the camp clear is going to be a little bit less so in the early game. For the moment, Phoenix winning out in the solo lane against Kingleberry, while we've got an invade here, unbeknownst to Super Sticks, 3 members of Randy Newman stealing away the siege camp in the bottom lane. A nice, easy steal here, and doing pretty well to keep up in the soak, as they're even going to gank onto Super Sticks, get the sleep. The teleport is going to be able to get them out of there. In the middle lane, Robert doing their best to go ahead and clear up these siege giants. And in the bottom lane, Looks like the Siege Giants were cleared out by Vala, as Panda Supreme getting the soak while we see Super Sticks backing out, looking to potentially gank here onto Randy Newman, who is sitting in the top lane. So far, Randy Newman has done a really great job about getting these camps out, maybe missing a little bit of soak, but able to steal camps away and looks like getting a bit ahead in rotations as a result, although Team Rainbow Strike Go doing pretty well to deal with it and to be able to respond as well. Kingleberry going to walk down here on the Falstad, not using his global just yet, but it does look like the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go is quite split, and Robert is going to go ahead and go down before we even saw Super Sticks coming in from the mid lane where they were soaking, so it looks like they are willing to just give up this first seed, as you do need 3 to get the entirety of the objective. With that being said though, Vala's all on her own down here, and that's going to be a 3-man push with bruisers from the side of Randy Newman. Kingleberry as well as Panda Supreme come down, but now there are 4 members with the Spell Aura from this bruiser camp. They're going to be able to push very efficiently onto this fort, and they are doing so, taking it down to about a third of its health, maybe even a quarter, before Robert was able to rotate in on the Johanna, and now even pushing them back under the fort again. So a really, really nice play there from the side of Randy Newman. Gonna go ahead and get some nice early aggression onto the structures here, which will help a lot if they are able to get an objective. And it looks like they're even just gonna sit in the bush and try and finish off the fort here. I like that a lot. Being willing to give up this 1 seed is a good play for them, as it is just 1 seed and you need 3 to be able to get that objective. So that lasting damage of the fort being down will help a lot in the grand scheme of things. So a nice play there. Now being said, this will even up this seed count here for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, so they don't have to worry about potentially losing objectives while down the 10 talent tier or something like that. We are going to see a little bit of soak being missed here though by Randy Newman. That is something that Team Rainbow Strike Go has been doing a great job of keeping up in, although they have struggled to maybe match the macro pressure when it comes to camps. Silver on the ball are going to go ahead and grab this siege camp, as the mid lane one was already pushed in and then taken down by Randy Newman as they push in their own. And in the top lane, another siege camp, but Kingleberry is going to have the global up on Falstad and will be able to go ahead and fly on down if needs be. Popping in for talents here at level 7. Looks like so far Kilthus doing really well on stacking the globes here, thanks to all the camps that they've been taking. The quests here starting out for the Greymane here, but we're going to see Kilthus and Zeratul traded out as a nice dive there, but then collapsed on. Going to result in the 1-for-1 trade. The circle is here for Kingleberry. He's going to fly in and get immediately slept, have to use his barrel roll back, but Mal'Ganis is going to get punished in the meanwhile. The burst there from Vala, very effective against him. Already sitting at 10 stacks here on the Puncturing Arrow quest. That's a lot of bonus damage, and they're going to be able to get the seed, even though it was positioned in a better spot here for the side of Randy Newman. Both teams going to round the level 10 corner here in any moment, as we're going to see Might of the Nerazim starting up. Looks like actually a combo build was chosen here, as well as the Rain of Vengeance. We're going to see the Blessed Shield, the Flailing Swipe, and Falstad currently holding, potentially, nope, going to go into the Gust. So not going to go for the extra damage there, instead looking for the disengage, as we're going to see Carrion Swarm here for Mal'Ganis, the Ancestral Healing for Rhaegar, Pyroblast, the Purification Salvo, and go for the Throat to finish it out. Super Stick's doing a good job of just poking into Randy Newman there on the Rhaegar. Is going to face check the bush against Randy Newman, but he's Zeratul. It's no problem for him. And they have the Bruiser camp now pushing in the top lane, not quite finished being cleared out, but mostly cleared out, as Kingleberry going to fly up. Purification Salvo, not going to get too much, as we're going to hear, and even going to get interrupted by Johanna with a great Blast Shield there. Panda Supreme going for the Flailing Swipe, but going to get hit by a lot of burst, as well as the Pyroblast. The Gust and the Rain of Vengeance come out, and it's going to be a 1-for-0 trade in favor of Randy Newman. Looks like Super Sticks on the Zeratul is going to look for some additional poke. Get a really nice combo there onto Nandy Rumen, but it is going to end up being 2 for 2 now as Randy Newman takes their second seed. Can go ahead and look at stats here. Vala actually putting in a lot of work here, although Zeratul is right behind her. And we're going to see Phoenix currently holding the top damage on the side of the blue team, as both of these teams are going to go ahead and just start on taking the camps. The top lane, Kingleberry getting harassed here by Phoenix. Phoenix, one of the best heroes who can function as a ranged solo laner, thanks to the shield mechanic there. But Super Sticks, ooh, a nice warp there from Wendy Woman, gonna save them from a lot of potential damage there. I don't think we would have seen a kill onto them, but forcing out the back was definitely what Super Sticks was looking for there on the Zeratul. Bruiser Camp pushing into the bottom lane with a catapult here. That is going to be able to potentially do some damage, although the Siege Camp here taken up by Team Rainbow Strike Go will help them a lot. And 12 against 12, 3 kills to 2, this is going to be the seed that will decide who gets the first objective and potentially who we start seeing a snowball in favor of in this match. Kingleberry and Silver poking onto the minions, but they know that the team of Randy Newman is here. Robert checking the bush here. Looks like maybe one of these teams trying to stall out. Nice burst there onto Wendy Woman from Silver on the Vala. As all of the minions are now cleared up here, we do see Super Sticks up top looking for a combo in from the side or from the back. Randy Newman not going to get much there. A nice flailing swipe as well as a Blessed Shield and a Gust. Going to get a lot of damage, but Silver getting taken very low by Rhonda Newman, saved by Panda Supreme. And now it's Kingleberry who's looking very low. Going to be able to get the barrel roll out, but the Purification Salvo is going to come out, and it's big. Going to finish off Robert as well as Panda Supreme. And Kingleberry needs to get out of here as quickly as possible. Not going to be able to. That's going to be 3 kills for none in favor of Randy Newman, as well as this first wave of Garden Terrors. Got the Randy Newman fans in force out tonight in the chat, as we're going to see Vala taken out in addition here. And already pushing onto the keep, got the Sprout here from the Garden Terror going to go ahead and disable the structure, and that's going to be a very early keep. Well, not very early, because we have seen it take a while for this objective to come up, but already potentially looking at the core here. They know Zeratul's top, but he's coming on back. Now this is dangerous here for Randy Newman. They're going to get hit by the Gust that is able to slow them, as well as the Blessed Shield coming in. So Kingleberry looking to set up a bit of a counter attack here, although a nice dive onto him. Randy Newman got low but was able to get out, and it looks like the Chase is not going to be able to get any kills here in favor of Team Rainbow Strike Go, but their core almost took damage here, as we did see the middle lane fort fall, but Zeratul was able to clear up the top lane, so the end result being some pretty decent damage into the top lane here. The middle lane fort going down and the bottom lane keep falling. Sleep coming out onto Super Sticks on the Zeratul. Line coming up from Robert to try and help them out, as well as a nice silence there from Panda Supreme. Going to be engaging onto the blue team as Ancestral needs to be used to save Wendy Woman. Purification Salvo did come out but did not get much done. That's going to be a pretty favorable trade of ults there for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, considering they went into that with not a lot. A nice sleep there onto Robert though, and they're going to get blown up. Very well done chaining the CCs there. And now we are going to see the Power Blast onto Super Sticks. Gets the spell armor, going to be just fine. But now it's the red team needing to retreat. Oh, but Super Sticks with the Gust getting a blow up onto Randy Newman on the Phoenix. And the Boomerang from Kingleberry just tears apart Randy Newman. That's going to be 2 kills for none, with a nice back and forth fight here between these two teams. One bribe stack going to be used onto this siege camp. But Super Sticks is diving after Greymane. Gonna get taken out though, as he dived a bit too far. Silver chasing Randy Newman, not gonna be able to get that kill either. But the members of Randy Newman all got chunked pretty heavily there, so this siege camp should go down to the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, as we have Robert currently at the core clearing out some catapults. So overall, a lot of brawling, which is partly what I expected, but maybe chasing a little bit here, as we are going to see level 16s already in for the side of Randy Newman. You can go ahead and take a look at the talents there. We have Falstad going into a typical build here, except for maybe the static shield, something you don't see too often with this more mage-focused build. Normally seeing the hammer gains there for the self-sustain. And then also going into the crippling hammer here. So a bit of an interesting build here from Kingleberry, but it's been working out very well for him so far. And we are going to see the Q build completed out here. We have the siphoning arrow for Vala, and then going into the frost shot at 16 to go ahead and help control the enemy team a bit more. We did end up seeing it hungers here, so increased range there, as well as potential resets onto the cooldown of the silence for Stukov. Potential invade gonna. They were looking for it there, but it looks like Randy Newman knew about it and was just gonna play it safe, not gonna risk anything. And Team Rainbow Strike Go felt the same, so they're both gonna pull back. But now it's gonna come down to this objective here. It is in the bottom lane, so we should see Team Rainbow Strike Go able to de-push this bruiser camp before the objective, or during if they have some poke for it. That being said, the middle lane is going to pressure in slowly. We do have one catapult here as the fort is down, so we're going to see catapults every 3 waves there for this side of Randy Newman. As they're going to go ahead and start walking in here. Robert trying to control him. Super Sticks off to the side had been doing a little bit of work there. We're going to see the Sleep and the Blessed Shield kind of just freezing up both teams, but a huge Purification salvo coming onto the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, and all of their health bars are low. As Zeratul gets finished off by the Pyroblast, and now the chase coming in, the Gust going to be able to save them, but now that is going to be 2 seeds here, not tributes, 2 seeds here in favor of Randy Newman, so that's going to be both of these teams sitting at 2 out of 3, and Team Rainbow Strike Go really needs to figure something out here, or they could potentially lose yet another objective. Falstad flew up to go ahead and take this camp here, but going to have to immediately harp back as we see Randy Newman pushing onto the core with this spell aura. That's going to give them 20 spell armor. Still 10 seconds on Zeratul as Silver on the Vala gets very low. Finished off here by Randy Newman on the Phoenix. A bit of damage coming into the core, but looks like Randy Newman is going to elect to retreat, just wanting that kill, as they're now going to be able to very likely take the objective, as they also put a lot of poke here onto this mid keep, which is getting very low. So despite some very even and back and forth fights, Randy Newman has been doing a great job on just finding the kills when they need them and securing the objectives when they are needed. And really, this is do or die for Team Rainbow Strike Go. I don't think they can let this up, but they're going to, and they're going to have to try to make a clutch defense here. Core down to 89%. It is level 19 versus level 18, so a bit of a saving grace there that they are not down Storm Talents. But this is 3 very powerful Garden Terrors pushing into their structures, and they're going to need to start clearing it as soon as possible. Alright, starting off with the mid lane already getting taken down basically before it even came up, and so looks like they're going to be looking for a little bit of poke, and Super Sticks again looking for the flank on the Zeratul, but not going to be getting anything here. Nice silence going to cancel out the sleep there from Randy Newman. That could have been very dangerous. Flailing's Wife also coming out from Panda Supreme, as well as the Gust. They really just want to clear this out from the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, as another Garden Terror pushing onto the core. Grammy going to finish off Falstad there. Super Sticks in the backline also very low, going to get finished off. That's 2 down and only 3 left for this defense. Core is taking damage. GG is called by Kingleberry on the Falstad. As Johanna falls, Phoenix does get killed by Vala, but it's not going to be enough, as game number 1 is going to go over to the side of Randy Newman. Alright. Oh, you know what? Let me give you the match summary here. Very, very well fought by both teams there. I am aware that the stream is a bit laggy. My internet seems to be struggling a lot tonight, unfortunately. I'm going to need to try and figure that out here. I may end up pausing the stream here really quickly and then restarting it. It's strange because I haven't changed anything, but I guess just with all of the current ongoing things in the world, maybe streaming servers a bit weaker at the current moment. So I'm going to go ahead and restart my stream here. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back. All right. You know, I paused because I'm waiting for the delay to run out because it's actually starting in 30 seconds, but you know what? No, it was running that whole time. But yeah, I'm back. So, oh gosh, wow, the stream is really, really struggling tonight. Well, we're just gonna have to roll with it. Hopefully it gets a bit better during the game. But right now we are going to see that Team Rainbow Strike Go, who did just lose that map, is going to elect to take the map pick and go ahead and take us on over to Sky Temple. So maybe trying to throw off Randy Newman a little bit with Garden of Terror didn't quite work out, so they're going to go to a Sky Temple, which maybe is another map that might throw off Randy Newman, but where they might feel a little bit more stable and in control themselves. Maybe a bit more of a thought-out strategy. I know Greymane is a very high priority hero for Team Rainbow Strike Go, so maybe that being taken away was a bit of a struggle for them, and the Zeratul didn't seem to quite work out. There was some very nice poke, but wasn't quite able to finish out any kills. So I'd like to see them just work with what they had and try and switch up a little bit the things that weren't working out quite as much. Thank you, Chad. I try very hard to get my Newmans correct. But yeah, if you go ahead and look here at the maps, so we did have, of course, Garden of Terror just now, won by the side of Randy Newman. And then Team Rainbow Strike Go now taking us to Sky Temple, which we should hopefully have a lobby for soon. I do remember now. That is strange. Yeah, I had some settings turned off that game, but it was acting as if they were turned on. So maybe that's where some of my struggles are coming from. Seems like there's some issues with my settings here, as I did tell it to turn off subtitles, but I noticed those were going on. So hopefully we'll be able to have a bit more sustainable stream for our next map here, and we'll see if Team Rainbow Strike Go can go ahead and take a map of their own and start turning this around. We saw Zool completely ignored in the last game. I'll be interested to see if the same happens this game, because I honestly think he is at a point where he's really strong and a bit too good to be ignored. So we will have to see what these teams end up choosing, what they go for. Are we going to see a lot of just DPS, quick bursty fights like we saw in this last game, or are we going to see maybe a bit slower fights, get some bruisers in this game? So it looks like we are waiting on just one player here, and then we will be able to go ahead and get ourselves started. All right. Looks like we have all of our players in the lobby. I'll go ahead and give them my R. Obviously, they might want to spend a bit longer strategizing, preparing for the map. But I'm excited. This is another map where it's big, macro-focused. Personally, my favorite map in Heroes. So I reckon we could see maybe another Lost Vikings ban, if that is something that Randy Newman is afraid of. I think Abathur is a very highly prioritized hero here, potentially, if we have players for either side. I mentioned the Samuro that is potentially there for Randy Newman. Who knows if we will end up seeing that coming out. There's a lot of great options here. I'm just excited to see what goes on, as we had definitely some fun drafts in the last game. But we're going to go ahead and jump in to this game here on Sky Temple. First pick again going over to Randy Newman by the choice of Team Rainbow Strike Go after they lost the last map. They're confident that this is the map that they will turn it around on if they turn it around anywhere. So let's go ahead and see if they are indeed able to do that. Starting off with bans, are there going to be any respect bans from the last game? Do we see Falstad getting taken out? Or big macro focus, Blackheart's Bay. Nope, thankfully Blackheart's Bay is not in the map rotation here. We're going to see Malthael again respected. Gonna take that out, they don't want to have to deal with it, as well as the Maiev. So gonna stick to the banning pattern from last game so far. Very quick ban coming in there from Team Rainbow Strike Go, so they've already got a plan here. Or at least they aren't spending quite as much time thinking about it. They're confident. So I'm excited to see what they come out with in this map. Alright, we are going to see the Johanna taken away. It did get punished a lot in the last game. We saw multiple deaths onto Johanna, but they think that this is a map where she maybe is going to be a bit more important, and they don't want to have to deal with that control which she is able to give, as well as the lane clear. So they're just going to take that away from the side of Randy Newman, as they don't want to pick her, I guess, in the first slot, but they also don't want to play against her. On the other side, for Sky Temple, our last ban, going to be ETC again. So the only ban here going to be the change onto Johanna, as Deathwing was banned in that slot previously. So do we see Deathwing picked up here at all for one of these teams? Team Rainbow Strike Go definitely needs to be aware of that change, because it might signal that Randy Newman is wanting to pull a Deathwing in here for their team. To start it off though, I'm still questioning the Zul. It got left out last game. No, it's going to be the Abathur here for Nandy Ruman. I'm always happy to see an Abathur getting played. This is, of course, Division 3, so you don't see quite as high level at play as you might in other divisions. Excuse me. Bit of a sneeze there. Alright. Just had to get my my sneezes out of the way, but I always love to see Abathur, no matter what level of play. And we're gonna see Greymane picked up here for Super Stakes. Like I said last game, like I said, that's a very comfort hero for them, so I'm not surprised at all to see them prioritizing that highly, as well as Melganis picked up here now for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. So it looks like maybe last game we saw a lot of these comfort picks taken away, and now Team Rainbow Strike Go is going to go for them themselves. On the other side though, a very, very aggressive comp starting out here, as we have Wendy Wooman picking up a Nubarak and Rhonda Newman hopping onto the Sylvanas. So looking for a lot of siege and just quick rotations, being able to take out structures, which was something that they did very well last game. That early fort in the bottom lane helped them out a lot to be able to open up a keep very early and just constantly have that macro pressure going on, which really crippled the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. We are going to see the Samuro taken out. I'm happy to see that Team Rainbow Strike Go has done their research. They don't want to have to deal with a Samuro Abathur, and that is very fair, as Samuro and Abathur is a pretty nasty combination. So the final ban here, Zul and Deathwing both still up. This needs to be recognized by both teams. Greymane on the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go does kind of give them something to deal with it if needs be. But it's going to be Rhaegar getting banned out, so they don't want to have to deal with the healer who has the macro pressure there. So Deathwing and Zul still both let through. So both of these teams willing to let go of a lot of heroes who maybe are considered more more meta at the moment, just for getting rid of some of those comfort picks or things that they think might be strong for the map specifically. That being said, the Lucio going to come in here for Panda Supreme, as well as Jaina for silver. So Lucio able to enable quick rotations as well and help out there, and Jaina able to clear waves, clear camps, and do well in team fights. So just solid overall hero. So really looking a lot like the draft that we saw from Randy Newman last game. So very, very happy to see some comfort picks here coming back potentially, as we're going to go ahead and see Alarak for Randy Newman. a hero which has been banned out against him before, I know. And then the support here, or the healer, going to be Uther, played by Randy Newman. Or maybe that's more of a main tank, as we did see him playing the main tank last game. So an interesting comp here for Randy Newman, looking to team fight only when necessary to kind of just get quick picks and then get some huge macro pressure coming out, as the draft is going to be finished out with a Urel there for Kingleberry. I like both of these drafts a lot, but compared to the last game, I think I prefer Team Rainbow Strike Go's draft a little bit more here. Abathur is super powerful, and the mule especially on this map is something that Team Rainbow Strike needs to be aware of. They can't just leave structures sitting up, because they will regenerate quite quickly. But if they are able to deal with that, then that could be I think the draft here has a very good potential for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. Alright, sweet. There aren't hero switches this time, so I didn't miss. I know I missed last time we had the Falstad and Zeratul swapping out. Not going to be the case this game. Everyone's staying the same. Going to go ahead and make my life nice and easy. Okay, that's strange. Our in-game overlay is not going to be popping up here. That is bizarre. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on here. No clue why we don't have our overlay, but let me just introduce the teams here. And maybe it'll figure itself out. No, for some reason, lots of stuff. Oh, you know what? I need to get rid of this here, don't I? Yep, there we go. Alright, so starting off in the bottom lane, looking for a cheese on the side of Randy Newman, we have Wendy Wooman playing a Nubarak, Randy Newman on the Uther, Rhonda Newman on the Sylvanas, and Randy Newman on the Sylvanas. As well as in the top lane, Nandy Ruman. Jaina's already there to meet them. Silver playing that hero for Team Rainbow Strike Go. Panda Supreme on the Lucio. Robert on the Mal'Ganis. Greymane played by Super Sticks, and then Urel played by Kingleberry. Sorry for the little pause there. I guess I just missed it in the first game entirely. My overlay was not there, so sorry about that. It's there now. You know, I take a short break from casting, and I'm already messing stuff up, but we're fixed now. We're fixed now. As looking at talents, we have pretty standard stuff across the board. We do have, I believe that is Time to Feed. Nope, Vampiric Aura. Coming out for Robert on the Mal'Ganis as Wendy Woman jumps in, gonna get knocked back and booped back, and that's gonna be first blood for Team Rainbow Strike Go. A nice collapse there, punishing the aggression there from Anubarak, as they didn't quite have the follow-up to save him there. With that, they're going to immediately rotate and steal the siege camp here from the side of Randy Newman, and they're going to have to deal with that quickly, because that will start doing a lot of damage onto this fort. In the top lane, Rhonda Newman and Randy Newman pushing in a little bit, getting this turret pretty low, as we do see Kingleberry trying to do some double soaking here. Gonna jump onto Randy Newman, but he's gonna be able to telekinesis himself out, as we have the three of the members of Team Rainbow Strike Go. Here in the bottom lane, Greymane just grabbed their own siege camp and is now going to work on the bruisers here. So a pretty good start here coming out for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. This time definitely getting a lot better momentum, as we did see last game, early picks and invades for Randy Newman, so a bit of the opposite this time. So happy to see that it looks like Team Rainbow Strike Go going to be able to find their stride a little bit here, but we will have to see, as obviously there's some very high potential for scaling on the side of Randy Newman with the Abathur. What is going to happen as the game progresses here? Urel in the top lane pretty much losing the entire front wall as they're going for that double soak there. Greymane now, though, potentially going to be able to push in with this Bruiser camp and deal some pretty good damage of his own here, as we have 2 and an Abathur defending here with their own Bruiser camp coming in here, but a bit later, as the camp clear not quite as fast here for the side of Randy Newman. Objective is up, but both teams currently ignoring it, as we have lots of damage coming out onto the Anubrak here. And the Greymane getting picked off. Looks like he was pulled into the towers potentially there. Little B-step from Randy Newman on the Alarak. And the blue team going to be the first to step onto one of these temples, as we still have 3 members of Team Rainbow Strike Go pushing in this lone siege giant in the bottom lane. Randy Newman stepping up aggressively, going to get knocked up there by Robert. Not going to be able to be killed, but it looks like the red team is electing to just give a bit of the early objectives for an early fort here, which will help them a lot in the second objective, which will be here in this bottom lane. You always have the pattern for the first 2 being these 2, and then also having this one as the next objective. We do see the fort falling here in the top lane, though, as the Bruisers were pushing in. Kingleberry going to try and get some shots here, but we do have all of the members of Randy Newman nearby, so he should start backing off. Not going to get pulled by Randy Newman. So, as the bottom fort is finished off, Robert getting very low. Barely saved there by the 50 armor. And Mule coming in. That is level 7s for both teams. And now the middle objective being taken. I can't help but feel like I think Team Rainbow Strike Go stayed way too long in this bottom lane. I understand the urge to feeling that you need to commit and finish this fort, or it's just going to get muled up, as we already see it. We're getting a lot of health, but they're giving 2 objectives worth, which was their entire top fort, and now losing a lot of damage into this mid fort, as we just see Rhonda Newman and Wendy Wooman now just pushing in. And that's going to be, despite the fort coming out here for Team Rainbow Strike Go, 2 forts for the side of Randy Newman, and the majority of both of these temples. Interesting trade out here. Not sure that I like it though, for the actions of Team Rainbow Strike Go. Bit of a bush party here set up, but not much going to happen, as we do see the Team Rainbow Strike Go just warding off Randy Newman, whose camp they did invade again. But the siege pressure, or the overall map so far in favor of Randy Newman. Potentially looking to turn it around with a team fight here, though, as we have Kingleberry coming in. They're looking for a fight pre-10, since they know that Abathur is going to spike a lot in team fights come level 10, but Kingleberry got chunked very heavily there looking for the flank. And so they're going to have to start backing out here. Or maybe not. Kingleberry jumping back in, looking for aggression onto Wendy Wooman on the Anubrak. Gonna get the cleanse there from Uther as well as a heal, but now it's Randy Newman who's falling below. Gets slept there and finished off by Greymane. Kingleberry goes in for another jump. But that's gonna be a reset onto the sadism there for Alarak, although he obviously did only have 1 kill's worth, so not too much of a big deal. Level 10 coming in first though. Well, coming in at the same time basically, as we do have basically even levels yet again. But also yet again, we do see Randy Newman holding out the structure advantage here. Looking at those level 10s, we have the Cursed Bullet, we have the Water Elemental, we have the Ardent Defender, the Carrion Swarm, and the Sound Barrier for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. Randy Newman has started on the camp, but it's been scouted out. They have the Ultimate Evolution, the Divine Shield, which will help a lot on this point control, Cocoon, Deadly Charge, interestingly enough, and then the Wailing Arrow. They're going to back off the boss, as we did see Wendy Wooman getting taken pretty low. Uther obviously struggling more so than other healers on being able to really have that sustained healing that you might want to look for.
Yes, my magic flows through the temple.
We're going to see now aggression yet again as Randy Newman gets taken very low. The Divine Shield comes out just in time to save him, as we did see Bullet and Water Elemental taken there, or used there, traded out for that Divine Shield. So, but short cooldowns for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. They should have Bullet at least up for the next team fight. And they might get Water Elemental up during it. Bullet is, like I said, up already. A huge deadly charge Wailing Arrow combo comes out and just tears apart Jaina. The sustain coming out for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, but the silence, big, gonna get stopped. The momentum gonna get stopped though by the Sound Bearer, but that is a team fight won without even needing to use the ultimate evolution. Abathur pushing in this top lane with his hat during the duration of that fight. So favorable trades here again in favor of Randy Newman, as they're going to be able to go ahead and take this objective and remove basically all of the forts here for Team Rainbow Strike Go, which is looking really bad given the fact that Team Rainbow Strike Go doesn't have a mule, but Randy Newman does. So being down 2 forts is a lot bigger because it's going to take a lot more effort to get through these 2 forts on the side of Randy Newman. We are going to see the Bruiser camp taken here for Team Rainbow Strike Go, as the remaining members of Randy Newman in the bottom lane went ahead and stole the siege camp here, getting an invade of their own finally. Now we see a pretty similar situation to last game. Even on levels and team fights not really going either way, both teams doing alright, but it does look like the siege or macro pressure is heavily in favor of Randy Newman. Telekinesis being used there just to peel. It looks like with the 5-man here, we're going to see Team Rainbow Strike Go invading onto this camp, as Sylvanas was in the top lane helping to push out that Bruiser camp. And potentially a boss being started? Nope, just gonna think about it there, but not going to go for it, as we do see just the 5-man of Team Rainbow Strike Go roaming around. That's giving Abathur a lot of time to just do his thing, to just soak these lanes with his hat, push them out. And we're going to have to see what is Team Rainbow Strike Go going to do. They've been struggling to get a strong advantage in the rotations or objectives. In fact, not actually taking any objectives yet. Bullet going to get popped, but Randy Newman going to be able to just go ahead and burrow charge out there. As the Bruiser camp now picked up for Randy Newman and pushing in through the top lane. This keep front wall already lost a turret as Abathur was pushing it with the hat. Team Rainbow Strike Go is under a lot of pressure here, and they're going to need to use this time where they're even still to try and turn something around before the spirals even more out of control. If you look at the XP, Abathur sitting at 11,200. Urel is the closest, but she's still 3,000 beneath him, and that's where you're seeing the majority of this lead here. About half a level lead now in favor of Randy Newman, just thanks to that passive soak here, or thanks to that soak here from Abathur using his hat, as the enemy team is just 5-manning, looking for a team fight. We are going to see an early cocoon being committed onto Greymane. The clone going to come out onto Uther, so looking for lots of stuns, as we have the Wailing Arrow coming out and doing a ton of damage, as well as the silence there from Alarak. But they were able to survive it on the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, and they have the Sound Barrier, which comes out, as well as the Ardent Defender. They're turning now into this team of Randy Newman, as the clone has gone down. Randy Newman caught out on the other side, going to try and dive back in to help out the team, but taking a lot of damage. And Lucio is going to be able to speed boost Team Rainbow Strike Go in. The Divine Shield gets used to try and save Anubarak. But now Randy Newman seems to be caught. Gets a big silence and the hat, but not enough. It's going to be a kill onto Alarak, but only a one-person fight here. And during that time, we saw Abathur in the top lane doing Abathur things, and the keep is gone. That's something where you've really got to question how Team Rainbow Strike Go is going to turn this around, because even when they're able to win these team fights, Randy Newman is doing such a good job at mitigating the damage and getting value elsewhere. Now going to the top lane, but we see the boss coming in here for Team Rainbow Strike Go. I think this is something that really is good for them and that they kind of have to commit to. If they're able to get a keep down here, they can help equalize the pressure. And if they're able to be super aggressive with some Siege Giants, they might even be able to look for a team fight and potentially for the core here, as they are a bit down at the moment. Splitting up even to get both Siege Camps pushing in. We do see Uther still in the top lane, but he will be back soon as Jaina's rotating in from the back here. It's going to be the boss defense here for Randy Newman. Are they going to be able to stop the big momentum that's coming in here? Going to be 2 Siege Giant camps. We see the Mule already dropped on the aggressive side. Going to get dropped pretty much immediately. Yrel jumping in aggressively. Big Wailing Arrow and Deadly Charge combination. They're going to end up with Silver on the Jaina falling. I didn't even see that, but they got so low. The clone came out from after, but is going to fall. And still all 4 of these Siege Giants alive. And a huge dive comes out onto Alarak. Randy Newman gets low as well, but going to be able to retreat into the fort there. And now it's 4 Siege Giants as well as 4 members for each of these sides. One of the members for Randy Newman, of course, being that Abathur. Going to be a jump here onto Rhonda Newman from Kingleberry. Lucio doing a great job of keeping the team up as another Curse Bullet comes out onto Randy Newman. And with Greymane and 4 Siege Giants, this is a huge amount of damage coming out onto the core, and that is Team Rainbow Strike Go committing. Rhonda Newman is doing her best to stop it, but there is so much damage coming out. I think they're going to be able to do it, despite looking like they were down quite a bit. Abathur gets picked off in the top lane as he was trying to push in while helping his team with the hat. And now that is 10%, 8%, 5%. The core goes down, and that is game 2 to Team Rainbow Strike Go. A wonderful turnaround. Great stuff there from them. That was impressive. I think even though the draft there, even though I think the map in the early stages was played much better by Randy Newman, I think the knowledge of the map was very strong there for Team Rainbow Strike Go. They knew that the boss was really the main deciding factor on this map. If you're behind, the boss is your best hope to get back into the game. And they took advantage of that. They took the siege camps when they had enemies, heroes down, and they saw that Randy Newman wasn't really pushing out the boss while they were grabbing those siege camps. And because of that, because of the great dive that they have from the Greymane and the burst, and also from Yrel, of course, they were able to go ahead and get the few kills that mattered and push on to the core. Gonna go ahead and tie up the series there. So very impressive stuff from them. That's what I like to see, as we're gonna go ahead and have a 3-game series here. Hopefully stream doing a bit better. I wasn't watching it too much, but it looks like at least right now we're not dropping frames, so that's pretty good. I'm gonna feel bad when I'm going ahead and uploading this one. All right, we are going to see Randy Newman wants first pick once again, so the map pick is going to be there for Team Rainbow Strike Go, which they have shown that they preferred, at least after losing the first map. They chose to go for the map pick, so they're gonna have it again, and we should hopefully be getting that any moment now. Thinking about the macro focused maps, man, that's hard to say. I can't really say which map I think might be preferred here by the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. We might see, let's see, was Cursed Hollow? No, Cursed Hollow was not banned out, so I think Cursed Hollow is definitely a map we might see. We might see Alterac Pass also. Both of those are big maps, macro focused, which they did seem to like. Towers of Doom is also up, which is quite a bit smaller, but definitely still has the potential for that kind of macro play. And I think, that being said though, I kind of want to see a more team fight focused map here from Team Rainbow Strike Go, because I feel like they did do quite well in the team fights in game 1. They did well in the team fights in game 2. And it seemed like they were getting out macroed both of those games until the very end there on Sky Temple, where they just managed to get the 1 kill and then build huge macro pressure through that bottom lane, which was completely loaded with camps. And if we had seen those camps maybe taken a bit earlier so they were on cooldown, then it likely could have turned into a game there for the side of Randy Newman, as they had gotten the top keep there. So we'll have to see. It looks like right now we're going to go for a 5-minute bio break. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take that opportunity as well. So I accidentally opened an application here. Good job, me. So I will be right back. I'm going to put you to I'll just take you back to the well, nope, I don't have the stats for the last game. All right, I'm just going to pause for a moment here, and I will be right back with our third map. Stay tuned. Alright, I'm back, so I'm going to bring the camera back as well. We should hopefully pretty soon be getting into our final map for this best of 3. I am going to have 2 best of 3s for the upcoming 2 nights. We're going to have, let me go ahead and pull those up. I believe they are Div D and Div C. I could be wrong. But we are going to have 1 cast. Oh, well, that would be 3 and 4 rather. I'm used to NGS because that's the most recent one I played in. But no, actually we have 2 more Div 3 casts. One coming tomorrow. That's going to be Annie Oak League versus Blackheart's Booty. And then on Saturday, we're going to have Merkalert versus APOC Incorporated. So 2 more Division 3 series coming up throughout the weekend. Hopefully we'll see some of our viewers now coming back for those, as hopefully the stream quality and the number of dropped frames should be a bit better for those ones. Alright, at the moment, looks like we've still got our teams on their bio break, but hopefully we should get our final map here any moment now. I'm excited to see what they'll pick, because I think both of these teams definitely have the potential to take it on any map. I think that the team fights have been maybe a bit more coordinated on the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. Not always winning them, but seeming a little bit more in sync with each other. Although that being said, there was some very good Wailing Arrow, Deadly Charge combos coming out from the side of Randy Newman in that second game. So we'll have to see. I think both of these teams doing a good job with what they're getting so far. And we're going to go ahead and see Alterac Pass here, picked by the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. Can go ahead and bring you back to the maps. As you look at those, we're going to see that the coin flip chose that Randy Newman was going to have first pick for our first map, which was chosen by Team Rainbow Strike Go. As a result, that was Garden of Terror, which Randy Newman won. Then we saw Team Rainbow Strike Go picking and winning on Sky Temple. And then with first pick being chosen by Randy Newman, we're going to see Team Rainbow Strike Go taking us to Alterac Pass, which is another very large, macro-focused map. A lot fewer camps, though, which is something which we're very big in snowballing for both of these teams so far in their respective victories. So I'll be interested to see how that goes, as while there are bosses on this map, they're quite a bit weaker, especially early, and there's only really one other camp for each team, being the siege camp that you kind of just take off of cooldown and then clear off of cooldown when possible. We'll also probably be seeing a little bit more sustained team fighting on this map. In the past two maps we had very bursty fights, but around on this map specifically, you see a lot of more sustained poke-focused fighting because of the fact that it is such a long channel time on the objective. Teams generally prefer to just look for being able to zone away or push into the zone of another team. So not super bursty fights frequently on this map. We'll have to see what happens though. Again, there's a lot of question marks out there. We saw the Samuro ban coming out last time. We saw the Abathur coming in and getting a lot of value. Deathwing wasn't banned in the second series or in the second map or picked. We'll have to see if it goes back to being banned, if they feel that it's worth getting rid of on this map, as he can do a great job at stalling in the ranged form, or what is going to be prioritized here. Zool has gone through 2 drafts completely unnoticed. That's that boggles my mind a little bit. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm excited for it. We should hopefully be getting in as soon as possible, because we do have everyone in the lobby, but maybe going to take a moment here to have our teams prepare. And hopefully no more sneezes during draft or yawns. Alright, looks like we are going to go ahead and get started here. Nice. I love these teams. They're getting through the lobbies. They're getting a maid. They're starting the match so quickly. Can't say the same about some other teams. But here we are. We're on Alterac Pass for our final map in this best of 3. Oh, I did not mean to swap back to me. My bad there. What I meant to do was I meant to shrink down this logo a little bit, as it is quite big there. Alright, there we go. Perfect. So looking at this draft here, we've got on the side of Randy Newman the first pick once again. They've consistently been banning out the mouth ale. Is it something that they consider ban-worthy again on this map? You're not really able to double soak quite as easily, and there definitely is the potential for ganks onto him, but it is something that they respected in the past 2 maps, and they are going to respect again. From the other side, we saw Maiev and ETC banned out both times, so I expect we'll probably see those 2 being the banned selections here, again, for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, though there is a lot to consider with the Abathur, with the Samuro. Alright, the next ban coming in here. This is the one that we've seen switch around, going for the Johanna ban in the second game, as opposed to the ban which they went for in the first game, which I definitely remember. But we're going to have to see what it is that they elect to get rid of here, and it's the Mal'Ganis. They don't want to pick it, but it was very effective last game in disrupting and helping the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, so they're getting rid of it, and the ETC is again banned out. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and have our first pick here. Is it the Abathur again? It did work out very well on the last map, despite Randy Newman losing there. So I would not be surprised at all to see it grabbed here. But it's going to be Johanna with her not banned out and Mal'Ganis being banned out, they feel that she is the priority tank. It's going to be Rhonda Newman on the tank this time. So roles very flexible here for the team of Randy Newman, as we've seen tank switch from Randy Newman to Wendy Newman to Rhonda Newman. And on the other side, we're going to see Robert this time on Muradin. And again, the early pick onto Greymane for Super Sticks. So getting that comfort hero under their belt once again after being denied it in the first game. They don't want to be denied it ever again. The 2-3 here now for the side of Randy Newman.
It is time.
And now we see him coming out. The Samuro was banned in the last game, but now Randy Newman is able to get it. And the Zool, who was ignored for 2 games in a row, picked up here by Nandy Ruman. Honestly, like, a lot of scary macro pressure is building up here for the side of Randy Newman. I'm interested to see how we're going to see it responded to. We're going to have the Abathur banned out. I think that's a decently safe ban. I don't know how likely it was to be picked here, as that would leave Samuro as pretty much the main damage, although Zool does do a lot of damage post rework here. But better safe than sorry. They just want to go ahead and get rid of it. And then we're going to have the ban here for the side of Randy Newman, so maybe trying to eliminate an option that would help Team Rainbow Strike go to deal with it. Or they're just going to go ahead, ban out the Stukov, as they don't want to have to deal with his silence pools around the choke points on the objective, as well as his very powerful sustain around set objective. So the Lucio is going to be picked up again here by Panda Supreme, and Kingleberry going to opt into the Sonya. So looking for a aggressive offlaner here. Sonya loves to kind of jump at people and puts out more damage than a lot of typical bruisers that you might see. So the last 2 picks here coming in for Randy Newman. We still are missing a healer and a DPS. We're going to see Jaina for that DPS, as well as Ana. That's going to give them the nano boost synergy. Randy Newman on said Ana. So it looks like maybe switching to healer after playing the Mal'Ganis first game, and then Wendy Newman on the Jaina. That's a scary team fight potential there. But then we have Deathwing coming in to finish off the draft. He was let through, and they feel that with the draft on the side of Randy Newman, they're not too worried about it. So we are going to see some swaps coming out. Let me make sure I get those taken care of. Alright, perfect. And make sure I got the Newmans. Alright, perfect. And with that, we got some spicy drafts. Man, I'm not exactly sure who I think is favored here. Both of these teams have drafts that I imagine they are comfortable with. So I will, I'll be interested to see which one comes out on top. Now that I think about it, I think all of those drop frames were due to the thing that I had missed until the start of the last map. That was probably the error there. I had accidentally opened a desktop capture. I think I was testing something out and I forgot to go ahead and close that or get rid of it. But we're good now, and we're starting into our third and final map between these 2 teams, sitting pretty well here in Division 3. And we're going to start out here with Randy Newman. On the left, we have Wendy Newman on Jaina, Randy Newman on Anna, Rhonda Newman on Johanna, Nandy Ruman on Zool, and Randy Newman on his Samuro. For the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, we have Kingleberry on the Deathwing, Silver on the Sonya, Super Sticks on the Greymane, not Rhaegar, Panda Supreme reclaiming his role on the Lucio, and Robert on the Muradin, looking to complete the best of 3 reverse sweep here. As we're actually going to see Kingleberry in the 4-man, which is something that has been a lot, or the 3-man, which is something that's been a lot more popular as of late. This main group Deathwing, as he is able to do a lot of damage with his Flame Breath and kind of perform more in the role of a mage there. That being said, we're going to see already Randy Newman pushing in the mid lane as we had Super Sticks and Silver already splitting off. But they're going to be matched quite quickly by Randy Newman and Randy Newman. Looking at builds, we are going to see the Shackler, I believe it is. Nope, Backlash for Zool. So looking for that percentage damage onto the bulky front line, which will likely be in his face a lot there. And we're going to see the Way of the Blade for Samuro. So looking to get some more impactful critical strikes. Greymane went ahead and rotated immediately over here as we have Lucio holding the lane against Randy Newman until he finishes this camp. Might need a little bit of help for it. Nope, doing a good job flanking here on the Knolls. I think he should be fine. Oh, gonna back and then finish that last one later. But we did see Jaina and Anna working on the siege camp here for Randy Newman, so they're gonna go ahead and get theirs out first. And Lucio still in this top lane against Samuro. Hasn't been pushed in too much right now, but if it lasts, I would expect to see that potentially changing, as Samuro should be able to definitely outpush there. Kingleberry doing his best in the melee form to clear out these Knolls. Of course, Deathwing's trait makes him do more damage to heroes, much like Alarak, so not the best clear here onto camps, and they are going to lose, looks like, one turret here in the lane before theirs are able to push in and start pushing in with Greymane, as Lucio's still sitting up top, doing surprisingly well against the Samuro. In the bottom lane, looks like Silver maybe getting a little bit worse trading, but that being said, Randy Newman taking a good bit of damage there too. So both trading into each other pretty effectively. Sonya going to be able to spin to win on those skeletons. And it looks like potentially a gank here coming out, but little do they know, Zool has backed. He's not even here anymore. Ah, no, they're gonna drop Deathwing the global off in that lane, as Greymane now taking a good bit of damage here from the Samuro. That reduced physical armor does a lot of damage over time if you let those clones keep attacking you, as we see Super Sticks drop to half. That being said, as we saw Randy Newman go for the camp, Robert has gotten the channel. Ooh, barely missing out on the interrupt. There is Rhonda Newman. And so that's going to be 8 seconds, it looks like. Maybe a bit more, but a lot of burst coming out onto Panda Supreme. The healing grenade there going to stop him from healing himself. Is he going to get away? He will, just barely. He will have to back here, though, most likely. And now we're going to see, after 9 seconds grabbed for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, Deathwing has globaled up. Was able to get them a bit more soak here. Going to be chilling in the melee form. So looking maybe not at the range build like I thought potentially, but instead looking at the melee-based build again. That we did see a lot on release. But they're going to go ahead and just be poking this out, as we have Greymane now grabbing the siege camp, as Silver on the Sonya goes ahead and clears out the middle lane. So good play here from Team Rainbow Strike Go, keeping up on soak and preventing Randy Newman from starting the channel onto their own objective. Super Sticks this time getting it just fine, thanks to the help there from Panda Supreme on the Lucio. If we check out the XP right now, Sonya actually sitting at the highest. Samuro sneaking the channel here. I don't think they knew that he was there. So he's going to go ahead and start off the channel there, as level 7s come in for both teams. We have actually the Firestorm here for Deathwing. So a build that I have not really seen at all before, as Kingleberry going to be just fine against the 4-man of Randy Newman, as Randy Newman gets caught out. Was able to get a few seconds off the channel there, but pays for it with his life. And Rhonda Newman looking for the poke here, as well as Randy Newman on the Ana, but ooh, barely again. The interrupt's just barely late here for the side of Randy Newman, and that's going to be further channel onto this objective. We do see Deathwing tapping in the mid lane and then flying into the air. So it's going to be 4v4 here for a moment as Randy Newman is just now rotating in. Looks like Panda Supreme as well as Super 6 getting a little bit weary there, but the channel is not going to come in time as it is getting constantly interrupted there. And it's going to be the first objective in favor of Team Rainbow Strike Go. Well played by them so far. We do have here Skullcracker, a bit of an adaptation. Talent I personally like a lot. We'll give some micro stuns as Robert is able to get out those consistent auto attacks, as well as some bonus damage. But the stuns there are really what help a lot because that will be able to shut down heroes like that Samuro, who is currently being killed by Kingleberry on the Deathwing. Maybe look to trade into that a bit too aggressively. Got torn apart by the melee there. As we have Zool making quick work though in the mid lane of this objective. Only about a turret going to be going down there, and Super Sticks taking pretty good damage from it back. Meanwhile in the bottom lane though, it's Jaina solo against Silver on the Sonya, and that's a really dangerous matchup there. Is going to go in for the tap, but I'm not sure that they'll be able to get away. The level 10 talents come in, the leap is there, and Silver is going to go ahead and get the kill. Fort taking a lot of damage. We are going to see Rhonda Newman and Randy Newman here. Going to be able to push Sonya off, not get the kill. But in the top lane, the fort goes down, and we are seeing Randy Newman being chased by the members of Team Rainbow Strike Go. Going to use his clones there. Going to get a nice swap, trying to get out there. Mounts up, but going to be dismounted by Lucio, who is going to give them the speed boost. Jailer was just finished out by Zool, so getting a bit more damage there on his bursting build, which we see him going into. But again, the Samuro here going down. I think a misclick there as we see Kingleberry going for the fear. Not sure exactly what went down there, but right now Silver is pushing in this bottom lane against Rhonda Newman. Lucio finishes out House Party. Looks like Silver just going to try and double soak here to keep the push back from Zool. But this boss is picked up in the top lane where the fort is already down. We'll have to see if it does get any value or not. Ults did come in. We saw the leap as well as the bellowing roar there. We also have Cursed Bullet, Avatar, and Sound Barrier for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go. Randy Newman, though, has Blessed Shield, Nano Boost, Water Elemental, Blade Storm, and the Skeletal Mages. Lots of damage coming onto Greymane, going to be able to get out though. The Nano Boost actually coming out onto Zool and cleaving, doing so much damage with his skeletons. That's a ton of damage. A huge Apocalypse, or Cataclysm though, is going to be able to finish off Jaina, and the zoning as well as the speed from Panda Supreme going to help them to get away from the Skeletal Warriors there summoned by Zool. I like the idea there of the Nano Boost onto Zool because of the slow there from the Skeletal Mages as well as all of the different Skeletal Warriors that he was getting thanks to his Q and from the minion wave being cleared, because they do a lot of damage and they would be spell-based damage, I believe, or at least their explosion would be. So that's a lot of potential damage onto the red team, but the speed there was able to help them to just kite away from those Skeletal Warriors. That being said, there's a fight over the boss here. Robert is very low, gets caught by the Blessed Shield and the Sleep Dart. Gonna go down. Flame Breath coming out though from Kingleberry, doing a ton of damage, but he's going to fall on the Deathwing, and this boss is going to be successfully stolen by Randy Newman. We saw Rhonda Newman get pretty low, but is going to get healed up here by Ana. And even though level 13s are in favor of the red team, Team Rainbow Strike Go, it is going to be the boss as well as it looks like an early channel onto this objective for the side of Randy Newman. Samuro and Zool making quick work of this fort as Zool clears the wave, and Samuro with his clones just tears it apart. That is something that will need to be managed here by Team Rainbow Strike Go, but they also have to worry about the objective. Looks like they're not quite sure which to prioritize, as Super Sticks is currently on this camp. I think he needs to come in and help his team out. They can't really commit to a 5v5 fight, and Lucio just completely bursted down by Zool and Samuro in the backline. A huge blunder there, I think, not having the Greymane there in time to help. First bullet does come out, as well as the Cataclysm from Kingleberry. Going to get a kill on Zool, but Deathwing falls as well as Sonya. So that's going to be a 3-for-1 trade. The boss just now falling, and objective claimed for the side of Randy Newman. We do see 13s coming out. It looks like actually we have a bit of a Blizzard build coming in for Jaina. Interesting choices there. We've got the Echoes of Death looking for even more Skeletal Warriors to be summoned for the side of Zool, as well as the Purifying Darts to remove the Roots and Slows there for Ana. Looking at the DPS right now, Zool top for his team, but the top in the game is going to be Deathwing, putting out tons of work. Ooh, great interrupts there onto the Lucio, and the dive onto Ana. Saves her for a little bit, but she does end up falling, but that's a 1-for-1 trade that looks like it should have been a 1-for-none. That being said, we are going to see Samuro falling as well, barely not able to finish the kill onto Samuro. And Kingleberry also getting away with just a tiny sliver of health. Super 6 does need to be careful on the Greymane. Going to get rooted into this Blizzard, and that's going to be him dead. So a bit too aggressive on the rotation there to help clear, not realizing that the entire team from Randy Newman was coming up on him. So a big objective here coming out for the side of Randy Newman. They're going to go ahead and get all of the forts for Team Rainbow Strike Go, as well as a small level lead. I think there's very much still opportunity here for Team Rainbow Strike Go. They just need to be careful, because we do have, looks like, just coming into clear. We're hoping to maybe get a pick onto Muradin or Lucio, but those are two pretty slippery heroes, both able to get away for the moment, as we have Deathwing clearing out the top lane. But a potential invade now onto this camp. Randy Newman is sitting around. They're definitely aware that Team Rainbow Strike Go is going to be looking onto this camp, but they're not going to end up going for it, as we have level 16s coming in for Team Rainbow Strike Go as well. Instead, going to go ahead and retreat to grab their own, get it pushing in the mid lane, where they do have, not catapult pressure, but pressure with the large siege minions, who are called Reaver minions, yes, of course. Oh, as I'm clicking everywhere and have to click elsewhere to fix that. There we go. We have, looks like Samuro might have been trying to be a bit sneaky and solo a boss. Not exactly sure what happened there. Maybe just got caught out a bit, but is going to be able to get out. And now both teams up here in the top lane. Mid lane is going to push, I think, slightly in favor of Randy Newman, but with a huge fight here in the dive, the leap coming out, as well as the sound barrier, Jaina gets very low, as well as Ana. Jaina falls first, Ana falling shortly after. Zool, though, is putting in tons of work, gets Panda Supreme very low, but now full-on retreat coming in for Randy Newman. Kingleberry will fall from the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, but it's a 3-for-1 trade in their favor, as they're going to drop all but Johanna and Samuro. And the mid lane, with the wave that they had, actually did push out in their favor. They're going to choose to, again, go for this top boss as opposed to the objective. Maybe just hoping to be able to get a bit of keep pressure, which, well, as the timers on the heroes were enough that Randy Newman should have been able to get back to try and stall out the objective here. They are going to burn through it nice and quickly, thanks to the Sonya and the Greymane. That being said, Samuro is in the bottom lane, where the keep has already taken damage for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, and he's going to do quick work of the waves with the Blade Storm there, pushing it in. Ooh, looks like Team Rainbow Strike Go looking for a gank onto him, but he should be able to get out just fine. Or no, not looking for a gank, looking for a double boss play here, as they are basically daring Randy Newman to leave the top boss alone and come try and fight this out. We do see Jaina staying, so it looks like a 4v5 maybe here for Randy Newman. I think that's a risky call. We'll have to see if they are able to pull it off, as the boss is, of course, falling very quickly here. Greymane puts so much damage onto it. And we do have the various abilities coming out, but the Fear going to push all but Johanna off thanks to that nice unstoppable. The Sound Barrier comes out for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, but Lucio is the first to fall. Kingleberry getting low as well. So much AoE damage coming in from the Zool. And Greymane, the next, we do see Samuro finally falling, but Murden has fallen as well. And 4v5, because of the choke point here, we are going to see a team wipe, only Samuro falling for Randy Newman, and they take the boss and the level 20 talents. Ooh. Wow, Randy Newman, just no fear. They believed in the AoE presence of Zool, and it worked out for them. The cleaves there, the weaken at level 16, very important there, reducing the damage of Team Rainbow Strike Go, and they're going to go ahead and with 10 plus seconds on all of these death timers, they're going to take the keep. Going to leave it though, as Alterac, famously difficult to end on if you are not able to take out more than one keep, as there's 40 armor on this boss right now, and it will regenerate every health point that it loses if it is not finished off. They're going to go ahead and open up the mid lane, and as they see Team Rainbow Strike Go pushing out this boss, they're going to grab the siege camp as well, it looks like, with Wendy Wooman on the Jaina, going to go ahead and even start the capture onto the objective. So not game ending here for the side of Team Rainbow Strike Go, but they are down 20 talents, and they are now down a keep. So they do need to get this level 20 coming in here pretty quickly, and then they're going to have to look for this objective. I think in all reality, whichever team wins this objective could definitely win the game, as we do see Kingleberry pushing out this bottom lane. So if they are able to get that objective, it will push in through that lane very effectively as level 20s come in. Looking at both teams, we have the Nano Infusion, the Cold Hand of Death, the Radiating Faith, the Winter Mute, as the team fight opens up. Randy Ruman on the Zool just gets completely destroyed thanks to the Cursed Bullet and the Leap there. Tons of damage onto him. Silver is unkillable thanks to the Ignore Pain, but the Winter Mute comes through and destroys Silver, as well as Super Six there on the Greymane. Huge turnaround there in their favor. The Nano Boost with Winter Mute, famous for the insane amount of burst it is able to put out. But even up one person, Randy Newman is going to be cautious here. Robert watching, he remembers the Samuro backdooring earlier in the game, and he's not going to let that happen again. That being said, we do have Randy Newman now rotating in, putting in a lot of work against Kingleberry. Kingleberry taking so much damage, uses the Fear, but the delay is enough that the kill comes in, and now it's 4v2, and with only 5.5 seconds on this objective, it does look like we're going to see a last-ditch attempt here. We see the rewind coming in from Murden, going to get stunned out of his jump, uses Avatar, but it's not enough. He will fall as well. Only Lucio left alive, and that's going to be the objective coming in favor of Randy Newman. Going to go ahead and take out the wave there, and Randy Newman already pushing into this keep. They really want to make sure that they end with this, but there are some tools in play for Team Rainbow Strike Go which are very helpful in de-pushing. They have the Hunter's Blunderbuss for one, which just destroys waves and pushes, but they do need to be careful. They're down Deathwing and they're down Muradin for quite a while here, and this objective is definitely going to be powerful as the top keep already going down. Will Team Rainbow Strike Go be able to pull it through? Zola's put in so much work this game, topping all of the stats here. Deathwing not quite able to match up, as we're going to see all three objectives pushing in onto the core here. I don't think that Team Rainbow Strike Go is going to be able to pull it out. They're going to do their best, but the core is falling so very quickly thanks to the Nano Boost, thanks to the two objectives that are currently on it, and that is going to be game number 3 going in favor of Randy Newman. GG's. Whew. Very, very close series there. Wonderfully played by both teams. I think Randy Newman really showed their macro sense in the first 2 games. They really pulled ahead thanks to their usage of the objective and of camps. But in the end, with the boss play on the bottom lane, we did see it 1-1, and I think while Team Rainbow Strike Go looked like they were ahead in most of the fights, they made a few boss plays, in fact, two boss plays in that bottom lane, which allowed for Randy Newman to turn it around when it looked like they should have had no right to. Running in 4v5 and winning that fight. Very well played from them. Go ahead and give you the talents here, and I will see if we can get an interview. All right. Hopefully we can get an interview going here pretty soon. All right. Let me swap on over to our interview.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing great. That was a very, very fun series. You said it. You said it in the Discord. That was intense. You guys have to be feeling good with how that ended.
Yeah, we do. We're pretty excited, especially after that third game. That was a lot of fun. And we had it under control, though. I have to say, we were never down. But yeah, it was fun. It was a little worrisome, but yeah, good series.
Yeah. So starting it off, we saw Team Rainbow Strike Go went ahead and banned out some pretty common maps for competitive play, and they took you to Garden of Terror. So what were you guys feeling going into a map that most people don't consider at all?
I guess our worry, or at least my worry with a first map Garden of Terror pick, is that something smelly is afoot. And so we were like, or at least I was super worried about some weird stuff going on. So like, that's why you saw us ban Vikings, like just something that like is not fun to play with if a team knows what they're doing going in. So it's just kind of like trying to sniff out any nonsense like that, and just, you know, picking a lot of having a lot of camp priority, being able to pick like the gray main like we did to be able to keep control of camps, because there's like 12 camps on that map, so it's just about keeping them all in control.
Definitely. So looking at the second map, Sky Temple, you guys were pretty in charge for the entire game. They kind of made some weird plays around the bottom fort, which let you get multiple objectives really early, but then with one team fight it kind of turned around. So what were really the things that you felt went wrong, and reflecting on that map?
I think it was just like we were kind of an all-in team, especially with our Nubarek versus their Mal'Ganis. So it's kind of like we had to get a kill when we went in, and if not, then they're just like Mal'Ganis and Lucio and Urel could just outstain us, and that's kind of what happened. And then they took the boss like right when Lucio got good, and they could just out-sustain us and had that slow march to the core. We just couldn't we couldn't do much to them, so they kind of like just snowballed to the end into their power spike and kind of just rolled over us at the end there.
All right, so talking about the last map then, you said it yourself, you felt that you were always in control, so that was something that I know for me is definitely impressive. I know a lot of teams, after having a loss that was that big of a turnaround kind of on Sky Temple, and after what looked like an early game definitely in their favor, definitely could have gotten to you there mentally, but what were your thoughts during the draft? You got the Samuro, you got the Zool. What was going on?
Yeah. Well, first, to be clear, that was completely a joke. 100%. We did not think we had it control. We were we were terrified. We were terrified that whole game. But yeah, I guess like Samuro, we like to play. We played at NGS, and we pulled it out in the playoffs of NGS at the end of last season. Something we've recently done, but it's really fun for us. It kind of like opens up a different element to kind of like, you know, have someone kind of just wherever on the map, or someone that can dive in or in and out on their back line, or as you saw that game, blow up a Deathwing in the late game. So I guess, you know, we just kind of like that on a big map like that where he can kind of just run around. Unfortunately, he was trying to lose for the first half of that game. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, the first 10 minutes were just kind of like I'm dead again. It's like, sorry guys.
Yeah.
But the Zool was we like Zool a lot. One of our guys on the team was hollering for Zool in the first 2 games, and was super concerned that we weren't going to get Zool because we didn't ban or pick him. So
Definitely.
he was upset the first 2 games, but we got in the last game, and then Zool just lets it allows for chaos on boss objectives. Just Zool can get in there and just slash away, and so it ended up working in our favor.
Yeah, and that definitely showed you guys took a 4v5 fight on the bottom boss there and managed to wipe them, only losing one. So definitely really impressive play from you guys. I'll go ahead and let you go here because I know it's getting kind of late for me. I think you're more on the west, but I've got one last question for you before I give you shout outs here. So if you had to give an MVP to a member of your team or the enemy team for the series, who would you say was the MVP?
That's tough. I guess we're kind of bouncing around roles. I feel like maybe Rhonda for filling in a couple roles there, and for playing the Joanna the last game. I felt like kind of did pretty good, especially in that last game in the deciding match.
Definitely.
If I'd have to give it to someone, and even though like it would be Newman for the end of the game. Killing that Deathwing was pretty big.
Yeah,
but
that
man,
was definitely big.
He was you can't throw for 90% of the game and then get MVP, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd have to say Rhonda. I think overall, did pretty well on a couple different roles for us.
All right. Well, thank you for the wonderful series, putting on a great show. Floor is yours for any shout outs.
Oh, I guess yeah. Thanks. Thanks for the cast, Hydra. It was always like to go back and watch stuff. So we appreciate you taking some time and putting in the work to cast us. Thanks to Team Rainbow Strike. It was like I said, it was truly the best series we played, the most competitive, and we look forward to playing those guys again. That was a lot of fun. And I guess yeah, I would shout out to people at Heroes Lounge for whoever puts this together. All these people, we really enjoy doing this, and all their hard work is it's fun for us to play. So yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Yeah. Thanks again. See you around.
All right. That's it for me. Had some technical issues there, which were on me at the beginning, but came out to be a super fun series. Had a blast casting it. Thank you for everyone who came out. For the new follows tonight, we had Living Legend. I think was the only one tonight, but hey, I'm just happy to see people coming out, having fun. So much support for the Newmans in the chat. Glad to see it. That's all for me. I've got a cast tomorrow as well as the evening after. If you show up for that would be awesome. But I'll go ahead and leave you all to your evenings. Have a great one. See you later.